This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Not Buying My Daughter an iPhone? I have two daughters, 16 and 12. Me and my husband agreed that we wouldn't buy our kid expensive phones above $300. I feel like they're a waste of money, especially for a teenager. They can save up for one if they want, but we won't buy them one. We try not to spend more than $400 on individual gifts unless it's something that could be really helpful for our children. Our 16-year-old recently saved up money and bought an iPhone 15. Previously, she has used a Samsung phone we gave her for her 13th birthday. Our 13-year-old has an old Galaxy S8, which still works well. She wanted another phone for Christmas. We told her we would get her phone as long as it is under $300. She threw a fit and said it's unfair that her sister has an iPhone, but she doesn't. I told her that she could do chores or babysit or save up birthday or Christmas money from relatives to get an iPhone, but we would not buy her one. So sister worked for hers, saved up and bought her own, and younger sister is pitching a fit because she doesn't just get one as a gift. My husband thinks we should buy her an iPhone because it's unfair that her sister has one, but she doesn't. What? Hubby, you are not helping here in this situation at all. You're not parenting as a team. I told my husband that it's unfair for us to get the 13-year-old an $800 iPhone while my 16-year-old only gets a $100 gift. My daughter is angry at me and says that all of her friends have iPhones and it's embarrassing not to have one. I offered to get her a refurbished iPhone for $450 on her birthday in February, but I said that I wouldn't spend more. I don't think a 13-year-old needs an $800 smartphone. Now she hasn't been speaking to me for a few hours and says I'm ruining her life. Should I just get her an iPhone? Am I the astronaut? Dude, okay. I hate that kids do this shit. Am I the astronaut for not buying my daughter an iPhone? Is the question here? No, you're not. You're not an astronaut for not buying your daughter an iPhone. The real assholes in this story are the other kids who make fun of a kid because they don't have an iPhone. What kind of garbage is that? Also, like we're not an iPhone family. We're a Google family. So we rock Google Pixel phones and I remember Ava Thunder saying something about somebody talking shit on her Google Pixel phone because, iPhones are the cool thing. Here's the cool part. She doesn't give a shit. She's like, whatever, I love it. It's awesome. I think it's better. And developing that kind of mentality where you can be like, I don't care what other people say. I like what I like is great. But I understand that most kids are not there. Most kids aren't at a place where they can hold up to the peer pressure and be able to withstand the even if it's just ingest bullying kind of crap that goes on over material things. And if you can, I think it's a great lesson to put a kid in a position where they have to learn to deal with that because they're going to have to learn to deal with that their entire friggin' life. Guess what? You're going to get out there in the real world as an adult and you're not going to be handed the same thing that everybody else has. You can work for it. You can work to achieve it. She was given a path to be able to achieve something here by saying you can do this, this, and this. You can do this work. You can save up these other things to achieve that thing, but it's not going to be just handed to you. Your older sister got one because she saved up for it, right? Our 16-year-old recently saved up money and bought an iPhone 15, and little sister wants to just be handed one. Well, if you do this, you are going to end up with a golden child who is going to present us with another story years later about how she has to have everything that her older sister who has to work for everything has and ends up trying to kiss and steal her husband. We read that one the other day. Don't do it. Teach your kid to work for something. Teach them to be able to stand up to or not care about the cool shit that all the other kids are saying. And I know it's much, much easier to say than do. And we're just fortunate enough to have kids who are great to just be embedded with that kind of belief system, which is, I understand it's not common. But you gave her a path to be able to earn it. And if you give her one, this is my rebuttal to dad. Dad is really throwing a wrench in the entire system here. What dad needs to understand is that he says it's not fair for the older sister to have one and the younger sister not to have one. Is it fair to make one of them work for it and not the other? Because that's the path that he's talking about creating here. That's the situation. That's not balanced. How is that fair, Dad? You're not helping things. You're part of the problem here, dude. Not the asshole. OP, not the asshole. Dad is not part of the solution here. And if he is openly opposing you here and openly telling the younger daughter that he's all for it, and he says, yes, mom's the only one holding this thing up, then he's an official asshole. We don't know that that's the case, so I'm not going to put him on there yet. But you are NTAOP. Stay strong. Teach your daughter to be strong too.